You're listening to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, home of the #1 sports talk show on the planet, The Doug Stewart Show.
This is a revolution in radio, the realest, trillest sports talk show in America, The Doug Stewart Show.
Broadcasting live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Time, exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
This is sports talk for the people.
Follow Stewart Media and Entertainment right now on Facebook to stay connected and locked in for upcoming events like the Couples and Cocktail Series, viewing parties, and much, much more. Up next, get ready to ride raw with the Doug Stewart Show.
This is sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce, the Doug Stewart Show.
Exclusively on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
Yes! Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STEW to play for free. That's STEW for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STEW, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STEW.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Doctor, this is the mayor talking.
All right.
Doctor,
Come on, what?
always do the right thing.
If you came here to hear for fake, you are in the wrong place. We are for real around here. We keeps it real. This is the Doug Stewart Show, the livest, the realest, the trillest sports talk show in America. Are you not entertained? This is Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce, the Doug Stewart Show. Yes! Game time. Yes, sir. What's happening? Welcome to the Doug Stewart Show. This is a Wild Out Wednesday. And oh boy, we got a great show for you, man, lined up. A lot of football talk, obviously. College football, the NFL, right around the corner. Some interesting little stories, top 5 we got for you today as well. I'll talk about how in small towns you got to watch out from getting shot from old people. Bring it back. You know, we got a lot of stuff going on today on the Doug Stewart Show. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can hit me up old school style on the phone. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. And, yeah. Shouts out to all of the Stewies. Everybody already in the chat room. What up, Stewies? They're already hot and heavy in the chat room. If you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, man, thank you for tuning in. Every day we get new listeners. The audience grows. We do a lot of new marketing, so we got new listeners every single day, man. The show goes Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. And I do host the show, obviously, your boy, Doug Stewart, one half of the world-famous Two Live Stews, and I did say world-famous, shawty. My brother's retired, having babies left and right. Not him, but his wife. But the Two Live Stews, long live the stews. So we do sports and guy talk around here different than anywhere else, pretty much in the world, not just America, but the world. We do top fives. Like today we got a real good top five we're going to discuss on the show. We also talk about birthdays and obviously all the hot sports stories and whatever else dudes are talking about in America. You can hit me up, like I said earlier, old school style, 404-382-0338. You can email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. But the easy way to be totally interactive is just to hit me up on the chat on Spreaker.com. So go to Spreaker.com if you're not listening there right now, because you might be listening on the Doug Stewart Show app. You might be listening on the DougStewartShow.com. Go to Spreaker.com. Hit the little follow button. There's a little button that says follow. You hit that button, and then whenever I do a live show, you're alerted. I mean, so you got to do that. So follow the show on Spreaker.com. As a matter of fact, we got a little schedule change for the rest of the week. I'll tell you about that in a second. And then there's a little chat button. You click on that chat bubble, and bam, you're introduced to a whole new world of chatters, the greatest sports chat room in the history of sports chat rooms. I call it the fantasy island of sports chat, and its inhabitants are the Stewies. Yes. Yes, sir. And so I read a lot of your chat messages. We have a good time and do the damn thing. And the reason I said you need to follow the show, you need to hit the little follow button, is because sometimes we may have a schedule change, a slight schedule change. The end of this month or the end of next month will be a year we've been doing this. And, I mean, we real professional around here, okay? No bootleg tactics, nothing like that. I mean, this is a major conglomerate here. All right, the Doug Stewart Show and Stewart Media and Entertainment. No lie. I mean, so we keep a tight schedule, but once in a while we might have to flip things around a little bit. Thus, tomorrow and Friday, we are going to kick the show off live at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. That's 9 a.m. Eastern Time, so to go from 9 to 11 a.m. But if you follow the show, you'll get a little alert letting you know that we started off a little bit early. Monday, we'll go back to 10 a.m. as normal, as our schedule has been for the last, 8 or so months, all right? 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. Today we're going to talk the top stories, I guess, people are talking about in sports. We'll talk a little Tom Brady, the latest on Deflategate. We'll talk about Ray Rice. You see the title of the show. You should have cried, Ninja. You should have cried. We'll talk about Ray Rice and his latest sit-down interview with Jamil Hill from ESPN. And what else will we talk about? Floyd Mayweather has chosen his next opponent, actually his next victim. Some people would say his next tomato can that he's chosen. We'll talk about that. And today, also, we're going to talk some football. We're going to do this every day. That's the plan, to do this every day up until the start of the NFL season. Kind of like preseason team reports, one NFL team, one college team. And so today we're going to talk about the Oklahoma Sooners and the Chicago Bears on the Doug Stewart Show. All right? Oklahoma coming off a little tough year. Not Oklahoma-like. So we'll get into that conversation today as well. And also, man, for the last couple of weeks, it's summertime, not a lot going on. So I've been making an effort to have these little stew interviews, I guess you would call them. And so today we're going to talk to a guy named Greg Smith. He goes by The Strength Coach, and you can look him up online, thestrengthcoach.com, and he's a motivational speaker. Incredible story. I don't want to give you too many of the details, but if you go to thestrengthcoach.com, you can definitely get the entire picture, and he speaks on strength, inner strength, more so than physical strength. And if you check out his website, you see exactly what I'm talking about. But an incredible story. And so we're going to have him on today and talk a little bit of sports. We'll also talk about what he does. He's one of the top motivational speakers in the country. And so we're going to have him on the Doug Stewart Show today just to chop it up for a bit. All right? The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. If you're new to the show, also another feature of the Doug Stewart Show is every once in a while I even sing for y'all. Tree's shaking her head right now. Tree's the producer to the Doug Stewart Show. Tree is the producer to the Doug Stewart Show, and now she's falling out in the back of her chair like she's dying. I don't know why. But Tree is an established singer. Let me give you a little background if you're new to the show. Tree's an established singer. People pay her to come sing at their funerals and whatnot. I mean, she's a great singer. And so, you know, she's kind of snooty about singing, and you know, she thinks that, you know, you have to sound a certain way, this, that, and the other. That's fine. But I actually sing too. The good Lord has blessed me with the talent to sing too. And I've just realized it I've known it for a long, long time, but it really just hit me about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so every once in a while on the show, not only do we talk sports, guy talk, do top fives. We even talk about birthdays throughout the show. Every once in a while, I'll even go into song, and today I am going to sing today. I'm telling you like that. I didn't sing yesterday. I don't even think I sung on Monday. That's never happened over the last month or so. So today I am going to sing a selection for you today, so stay tuned for that. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to do a top five. Today is C.J. Spiller's birthday, dynamic running back in the NFL, former Clemson Tiger. I think his label is dual threat. Today, I'm going to have a little fun with this. The top 5 dual threat running backs of all time, shawty. And what dual threat means is, if you're not a huge sports fan, dual threat means is they can run the ball and they can catch the ball. I mean, in effect, that's what it is. So guys that don't just, run the football, but they can catch out of the backfield. So they're labeled a dual threat. And so we're going to have some fun with that today. C.J. Spiller is that guy. A guy that can run the football, a guy that can catch the football out of the backfield. So today, top 5 dual threat running backs of all times. Not now, not just guys that are in the league right now. We are talking all times. All right, the top 5 dual threat running backs of all times. Y'all heard the story about Jadeveon Clowney's dad, and I'm sure you have. I actually think it's a couple of days old. I was supposed to talk about it yesterday, but didn't get a chance to do it. And I've told this story before on the 2 Live Stews back in the day. Maybe you remember it, maybe you don't. But for the new people, Jadeveon Clowney's dad is accused of attempted murder. In effect, he was at some location in their little small hometown, Rock Hill, South Carolina, which is the upstate of South Carolina. I'm from South Carolina, if you didn't know. And he's been charged with attempted murder. And I told the story many, many years back. And you know what? I'm going to hold the story. Ooh, that's a tease for your ass right there. I've had an occasion to be around this type of scenario before. That's probably the best way to say it. So when we get back, I'll tell you about old country dudes and them putting a cap in your ass if you back talk them. So I kind of understand this scenario. I kind of understand what's going on, so we'll touch upon that when we get back. I got a little story for you, all right? Also, when we get back, man, Tom Brady, the latest on Deflategate. Got to talk about that. Tom Brady is, you know how I feel about Tom Brady. If you don't know, stay tuned. You'll hear how I feel about Tom Brady, lying ass, all right? 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Get your hands off that dial. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Keep it locked. The Doug Stewart Show. First of all, thank you for listening to The Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on The Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. That's Doug at theDougStewartShow.com, and we will put you out there, all right? That's Doug at theDougStewartShow.com. Let's do some business. Yes!
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
So the year is 1986, I think it is. Oh yeah, welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Wild Out Wednesday, August 5th, 2015. Thank you for joining your boy. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. But the easy way is just to jump in the chat room on Spreaker.com. So the year is 1986, maybe it's 85. And my best friend in the world, his name is Bubba. The real name is Anthony, but we called him Bubba. All right, listen, I'm from the country. And so there's a lot of people I know with the name Bubba and stuff like that. So my best friend, man, Bubba, he gets on the bus. And he sits down and he's like distraught. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? And we're on the bus on the way to school. We're like in 9th, 10th grade, and we're on the bus on the way to school, and he's just not himself. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? He says, man, my old man, he shot a man last night. I was like, wait a minute. What did you say? He's like, yeah. And then he started to smile a little bit. And obviously this wasn't a serious situation. He didn't kill a man, or whatever, but he's like, my old man shot a man last night. And I was like, what do you mean? And I had heard these stories before, and then rest in peace, his daddy's name was Coconut. R.I.P. to Coconut. This is not a lie. I swear to you, this is not a lie. I had heard these stories before. Coconut was a little guy, probably 5'5", about, 140 pounds. So he's a little dude. And little dudes, man, they don't got the tolerance to wrestle with you or fight or put up their hands or something like that, especially old cats like this where I'm from. They ain't trying to hear all of this. So he says, man, my daddy stumbled in last night about 4 o'clock in the morning. This was a Monday. I'll never forget it. He's like, my old man stumbled in 4 o'clock in the morning, and I met him in the hallway because he was extra intoxicated. And he looked at me and said, Bubba, I had to shoot a man tonight. And I said, and this is my boy talking. I was like, what do you mean you had to shoot him in? I had to shoot him in. So go ahead and call the police. They could probably come look for me right now. But I had to shoot a man last night. And sure enough, the story came out that at this little juke joint back at the crib, this little hole in the wall, this man tried Bubba. He was talking trash to him or talking trash to Coconut. And Coconut pulled out a pistol, a little 22, and pap, shot him in the ass a couple times. And come to find out more of the story, now keep in mind, this was in 1985 or something like this. Coconut was probably in his late 50s, early 60s. And once again, I told you, the story on the street was that he had done this many times before. Come to find out, Coconut had shot four, maybe five people throughout his life in our little town in Monk's Corner, South Carolina. This is not a lie. Not now, evidently, and he knows what it takes to shoot people and not go to jail forever. I guess if you shoot him in the leg or the lower extremities, then the law says that you were just trying to give him warning shots. This is not a lie. And I know this seems like a story from the Andy Griffith Show, from Ernest T. Bass throwing rocks or something like that or whatever. This is not a lie. In my hometown, you can literally shoot people or shoot at people, connect on their lower extremities 4, 5, 6 times and not go to jail forever. Thank God I'm a country boy. Yes, sir. And so the moral of the story is, where I'm from, don't mess around with old cats because they ain't trying to play that, man. They not trying to play that, and this ties into this Jadeveon Clowney story. If you've read the story of Jadeveon Clowney's dad, and I don't mean to make light of this whole thing, but it's a very interesting, correlation between my little story and where I grew up and where Jadeveon Clowney grew up and what's alleged that his father did. Is these cats in the country, man, they, these old dudes, they ain't trying to wrestle or put their hands up, or they ain't trying to argue with no little youngin' or whoever it may be. They ain't trying to argue with nobody. They do know, though, they do know the law. And evidently the law states that if you shoot a man and don't kill him, then you claim that it's self-defense, and this is nothing new. It's in the news a lot over the last couple of years about self-defense. They do know that especially if you shoot them below the waist, that chances are that you'll be okay, man. Coconut shot 5, 6 people, man, and never spent more than 2 nights in jail. Praise God. And so I'm praying for Jadeveon Clowney's father that these allegations aren't, real in the first place. And then if they are, man, hopefully there's a valid explanation behind it, man. I've heard the story and read the stories, the reports that Jadeveon Clowney is really broken up about this whole thing, man. Yes, Tree?
How can you even call yourself a thug and you're named Coconut? I just want to understand that.
If you put
Coconut.
If you put
Apple.
If you put badass coconut in front of it, then it's tough.
It's not.
And listen.
A pina colada at Dugan's.
Listen,
it's the same thing.
Let me say this, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I don't want to make it seem like Coconut was some type of bully or that he was a bad guy. Once again, very small guy. The reason why they call him Coconut, I guess his head was kind of shaped like a coconut, I guess. But great guy. Small dude, and the moral of the story is this is a great correlation between that story, which is true. And maybe
is he alive?
No, he died. He died a couple of years ago, as a matter of fact. And I said R.I.P. earlier. If my brother was on with me right now, he could attest to everything I'm saying. This is not a lie. This is not made up. This is the truth. And Andy Griffith, when who was it? Was it Otis? Was the guy's name Otis? And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. You remember when Otis used to get drunk at night? And you just walk into the jailhouse and open up the door and walk into the jail. Andy be like, "Go ahead, Otis, just go ahead." Those strange, peculiar type small town things happen, and this is akin to that. Coconut shot several men in his life. Always claimed self-defense. Never shot to kill, and I think that's basically what it boils down to. He never shot to kill. He just shot to get fools up off of him. Get him off me, fool. Yeah. And so, pray for Jadeveon Clowney. Pray for my homeboy, man. He's not even off the PUP list, the injured reserve list yet, man. I think he had that microfracture surgery. Everybody in America, all of the pundits were saying that dude, once he got that money, he wouldn't work hard, and he was injury prone. He had a couple little issues at the University of South Carolina. And it's looking like it's coming to fruition, man. This man hadn't played. What did he play? One game last year? And then in that game he got hurt, maybe 1 or 2 games, or maybe he didn't even play at all. But anyway, you know what happened last year. Didn't really play for the Houston Texans, and now he's still unable to practice. Oh, boy, it's not a good story. Now his daddy around shooting folks. Allegedly. Y'all pray for my homeboy Jadeveon Clowney, man. I mean, all I think is Greg Oden. That's all I can think right now is, with this Jadeveon Clowney story is Greg Oden. And that's a sad, sad thing. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougshow.com. I'm sure you've seen the interview. You're a sports fan. I'm sure you've seen the interview with Ray Rice. Excuse me. Ray Rice and Jamel Hill from the Puppet Factory. And it's basically his first sit-down interview that he's given since the whole domestic violence videotape, him slugging his girlfriend and now wife in the elevator. And I thought the dude was very believable. Took responsibility for everything. Said repeatedly he was wrong. He looked very believable to me, and he looked very sincere. Whether he gets another job or not, I don't know. I do think a part in the fact that he hadn't gotten a job yet is the fact that his numbers kind of were lacking. His last full year on the field was, I think, 2013. But at the same time, he was kind of nursing a injury in that season. So I think, and I always believe, dudes deserve a second opportunity. Now, some people you ask, they'll tell you that dude should never be able to work again. He should never be in an NFL uniform. I say, man, come on, man. Who is, without sin, cast the first stone. That type of stuff. And I'm not a big religious guy. Matter of fact, I hadn't been to church in about a month and a half. But that's neither here nor there. And Tree's waving her finger at me. Me and Tree go to the same church. So Tree's like, yeah, I hadn't seen your ass in church, didn't you? But I do know little quotables like that from the Bible. And listen, we've all made mistakes. And these are the same conversations we have all the time with guys in sports. And should they get another opportunity? This was very prevalent with the Michael Vick story. And, my gosh, Michael Vick should never wear an NFL uniform. Blah, 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 blah. And obviously he got another opportunity. You could probably classify what Ray Rice did as worse than what Michael Vick did. Some people might even say the opposite, that what Michael Vick did was worse than what Ray Rice did. Bottom line is he got another opportunity. I think Ray Rice should get another opportunity. It's as simple as that. And once again, I think he was very sincere. I'm a pretty good judge of character, I believe. And people's sincereness. And I think that dude was very sincere. I think he's apologized to the nth degree. Get a man another chance. Now, he did miss an opportunity. The ninja should have cried. And he tried. If you saw the interview, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, if you saw the interview, there was one point where he was talking about, in effect, committing suicide. That's how low he was. And it looked like he was trying to squeeze out some tears, but he just couldn't do it. He couldn't pull off that Denzel scene from Glory. You remember that scene from Glory when Denzel just pushed that tear out? He couldn't do it. So Ray Rice is not the greatest thespian ever. If he would have done that, he probably would have had a job by tomorrow. But he didn't do it. He couldn't do it. So we'll see what happens. I think when a NFL team goes down a running back and they need an established running back, and Ray Rice is a good running back, a damn good running back. Speaking of top 5 dual threat running backs, Ray Rice is one of them guys. Does he have anything left in the tank? I don't know. But when a running back goes down for one of these teams in the NFL, especially maybe if they're trying to make a run for the playoffs later in the season, I think he'll get a call. What are your thoughts on Ray Rice, man, in the interview with Jamel Hill? When we get back from the break, man, I'll give you number 5 on my list of top 5 dual threat running backs of all time. And maybe we'll jump into your chat already. I promise you, a little bit later on the Doug Stewart Show, I'm going to sing a little something for y'all, man. Yes, sir. I will sing a little something for y'all a little bit later. You don't want to miss that. And we're going to talk to the strength coach a little bit later as well. His name is Greg Smith. Look up the strength coach and kind of see his story. Incredible story. Motivational speaker. So, got a lot going on today. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. In life, things happen, good and bad. And being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and number one independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, tell him that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes! I don't like Johnny Gill. He took my spot on New Edition. One of my favorite songs of all time from New Edition is Can You Stand the Rain? So to pay ode to that famous song, man, I'm going to give you my little rendition of Can You Stand the Rain? On a perfect day, I know that I can count on you. Ooh. When that's not possible, tell me, can you weather the storm? Then Ralph jumps in. 'Cause I need somebody who will stand. Shut up! Who will stand by me through the good times and bad times. She will always be right there. Hey, sunny days. Everybody has them. And tell me, hey, can you stand the rain? J-Rob, Tree, if you stop Doug singing, we will renege your BPA nomination. Huh? Buster, Doug, I see why you got kicked out of New Edition. Wait a minute. Back up, Jack. Shut up. Studio audience, y'all are out of control today. I mean, seriously, we're going to talk about this. We're going to have to take y'all into Larry's office after this show. That ninja, you just cracked my damn phone screen. What? Where's all of this coming from? Who's putting y'all up to say these things? Who's putting y'all... Okay, Tree, jump on for a second. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Did you prompt these people to say these nasty things to me on Spreaker.com?
You know what?
I mean, it's jealousy. Tree, we know that you sing. But you don't have to be the only person that can sing, okay? I can see it. What do the kids call it? Hating? Is that what's going on here, Tree? Are you hating on Doug Stewart? Dirty Della.
Oh, my God.
Dirty Della. Oh. Dirty Della. Oh. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes! Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Yes, sir. Wild Out Wednesday. Bend over and touch your toes. Not the dudes, the ladies. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. A little bit later in today's show, man, I got a huge announcement. I have a huge announcement a little bit later in today's show. We got a packed show for you, man. We got the strength coach coming on a little bit later. We're doing top fives. I'll give you the number 5 dual threat running back of all time here in a second in honor of the great C.J. Spiller. What else we got going on? Birthdays. We got a lot of stuff going on today, but a little bit later in today's show. Oh, I'm going to sing. A little bit later in today's show, man, I got a huge announcement. You don't want to miss this, man. I mean, we've been doing these gigs with Fiverr.com where we do on-air ads. We do voiceovers, social media marketing as well. We have a new gig that we've added to our lineup. Excuse me, I apologize. We have a new gig, a big-time gig that we've added to our lineup that you can take full advantage of, man, that you aren't going to believe. We are really taking this thing to the next level, man, this online radio, this podcast thing. We are really taking it to the next level, so stay tuned to the Doug Stewart Show, and I'll tell you about that a little bit later. Number 5 on my list of top 5 dual-threat running backs of all times is the great Marcus Allen. That's right. The great Marcus Allen, the original prototype. Marcus Allen was the first player to ever notch 5,000 yards in receptions while also earning 10,000 rushing yards. All right, so he's the first running back to ever do that. 5,000 yards receiving and 10,000 rushing yards as well. Played 15 years in the league. Obviously a dual threat. I mean, the guy used to run the football. He could catch the football as well. Fantastic, great back out of the backfield. So Marcus Allen comes in at number 5 on my list of top 5 dual threat running backs of all times. All right, let me quickly do some birthdays here. And as I mentioned earlier, this top 5 comes from C.J. Spiller, running back for the Buffalo Bills, breakout season in 2012, rushed for 1,244 yards, 6 touchdowns back in that year. He turns 27 years old today. Happy birthday to C.J. Spiller, former Clemson Tiger. Holla, Tiger! Holla, Tiger! That's for my Clemson people. Patrick Ewing turns 52 years old today. Happy birthday to Patrick Ewing. Georgetown Hoya, New York Knick, scored over 20,000 points in his career. Grew up playing cricket and soccer from Jamaica. He turns 52 years old today. Still trying to get a job in the NBA. Still trying to get a job. Bless his heart. Lolo Jones, 32 years old. Happy birthday to Lolo Jones. Fine as hell. She crazy too, though. She kind of weird. Maureen McCormick. All right, so Tree put this on. Actress who played Marsha Brady. Oh, okay, I didn't remember her name is Maureen McCormick. Marsha Brady is 58 years old? Damn. See, it's things like that makes you feel old as hell, man. I mean, the Brady Bunch, that was one of my favorite shows. All right, my lineup when I came home from school, when I was in elementary school, was pretty much Tom and Jerry, Gilligan's Island, the Brady Bunch. There was a show back where I grew up called Happy Rain, where it was this Indian lady, and she used to have these little kids around in a circle, and they did crafts and arts and crafts and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's pretty much, it was Gilligan's Island, Brady Bunch, Tom and Jerry. I mean, that's what it was. And Marsha Brady. So I grew up, you know, I don't think I ever had a crush on any of them Brady girls or anything like that. I don't think I did, but that was my show. And she's 58 years old today. Praise God. Marsha Brady is 58 years old. And Tree put here, she noted here, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, she suffered through bulimia, a cocaine addiction, and depression, but overcame her struggles. Praise God. Wow. DeRay Davis, comedian, is 46. You've seen this guy. What have you seen him in? He won the Comedy Central Laugh Riots. It was a standout on the Cedric the Entertainer tour. I think he was on some TV show, and he was called Day Day. Was it Day Day? Or was that Mike Epps? I can't remember. But you've seen this guy before. Google DeRay Davis, D-E-R-A-Y Davis. He's a comedian, 46 years old. Happy birthday to him. MTV's Wildin' Out. He's been on a couple things. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. Let me read some of your chat messages, man. Thank you so much for the chat. I really do appreciate it. Talking about Ray Rice, what are your thoughts about the interview that he did with Jamel Hill? Also talking about top 5 dual threat running backs, cats that can run and catch out of the backfield. A little bit later on today's show, we're going to talk to Greg Smith, the strength coach. Not strength as in pushing up weights, but strength as in inner strength. A real great story, motivational speaker. Stay tuned for that. That's what we do on the Doug Stewart Show, man. I talked about Fiverr a little bit earlier, and I got a huge announcement coming up about Fiverr and something new we're doing with Fiverr.com. You won't believe it. Stay tuned, and I'll tell you about it a little bit later. But go online to Fiverr.com, and you can kind of get a preview and see exactly what I'm talking about. Fiverr, Fiverr, 2 R's at the end. Fiverr.com, and just search the Doug Stewart Show, and it'll pop up, and you'll see all the different gigs starting at $5. Everything on there listed, all the jobs, the gigs that we're supplying to you here, we're offering to you here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, start at $5. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's unbelievable. So go to Fiverr.com and check out the Doug Stewart Show. From Togo, Uganda, I think T-shirt number 2 should say, "Bring it back." Maybe it should. Speaking of which, if you haven't got the Doug Stewart Show T-shirt yet, man, now is the time to do it. We got a new order in. We got new sizes. So if you've been waiting for me to get, a certain size T-shirt, we've got a couple of the bigger, larger sizes. So go to thedugstewartshow.com, click on the donate button, and if you donate $20 or more, we will send you your very own T-shirt. Yes, we will. So it's got a cool Doug Stewart saying on the front. It's a conversation starter. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. From Max Jones III says, I have to get my people's opinion on the Ray Rice interview. Does he deserve another shot? Does he have anything left in the tank to offer a team? Doug, you have to speak on this. Real talk for the people. Yeah, I spoke about it a little bit earlier, man. I think he does deserve another opportunity. From everything that I've heard and from what he said and from what his wife has said, this was a one-time thing. Now, a lot of times you don't believe that in these domestic violence cases. You believe that it's an ongoing thing. And, I mean, who hits a chick like that in the face that hadn't done it before? I mean, the way it looked at me, it looked like he had done that many, many times. Like he was used to hitting chicks in the face. That's the way it looked to me. After hearing him yesterday and after hearing him over the last couple of months since this thing has happened, I've kind of, once again, I bought into the fact that he realizes the mistake that he made and that he is truly, sincerely sorry. And so I do think he deserves a second opportunity, man. Bottom line, from Eugene Jackson, Doug, the show would sound better if the host would retire from singing. What? Okay. Okay. I thought today, Tree's saying that it's April 1st, that he was just joking, that it's an April Fool's joke type thing, even though it's August. From J-Rob, hey, listen to Mike and Chris this morning and heard Kurt Schilling. If you smoke or chew tobacco, please listen to this interview. I did see it. I always talk about how I keep Mike and Mike on in the morning. I always have these stories, man. I told a little story earlier about my boy, his daddy always shooting people in our hometown. I got a story about tobacco, about dip. I do. I'll tell that when we get back in the next segment. But, yeah. Kurt Schilling told a story. In effect, I can't remember who the player was. There was a player they talked about. Damn it, I can't remember his name right now. Baseball is going to outlaw chewing tobacco or dip or whatever. And there was a player that they were talking about, and I'm not really paying attention. I'm paying attention, but I'm not paying attention. I'm getting ready for the show. It's just on. And there was a player that they mentioned, and I'll find out, I promise you, during the break, that said that he'd been using chewing tobacco and dipping since he was 5 years old. What? Now, I'm from the country. Mention that a couple times a day. I'm from the country. But that's taking it to the next level country. This man said he's been dipping since he's been 5 years old. I swear to you. And I'll tell you the name here in a second, but baseball is going to outlaw it. And this guy is going to be a mess. He can't function without the dip or the tobacco. Okay? That's what they used to call it when I was going to tobacco. He can't function without it. He's a tobacco crackhead. So we'll talk a little bit about that when we get back. I'll give you number 4 on my list, and I'll continue to read more of your chat on the Doug Stewart Show. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Don't go away. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. The Doug Stewart Show. The place where the real players play.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service.
The Doug Stewart Show.
That's a brand name. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name. I stand behind it. I guarantee it.
The Doug Stewart Show. If you ain't stewing, what the hell are you doing? Yeah! What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers in compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. And having some real fun today, man, talking about the sports stories. Ray Rice, we mentioned that. We're going to get into this Tom Brady, the latest on Tom Brady and Deflategate here in a second. So you can hit me up at 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. I said I got a little story about dipping. It's not really a story. It's basically some thoughts on dipping and my experience with it. But this segment is brought to you by Pride America. In life, things happen, good or bad, and being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of my family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world, right? 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place as far as insurance, man. That's unbelievable. So what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and number one independent financial services company in North America, and that's Pride America. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Pride America's top reps, then call my friend Greg Wynn at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and tell him that the Doug Stewart Show sent you. He has a local number. He lives here in Metro Atlanta, but he can do a policy in any state in the continental U.S., all right? 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. Number 4 on my list of top 5 dual-threat running backs of all times is the great Keith Byars. Wow. Did you ever think you'd hear Keith Byars' name mentioned in great running backs of any conversation at all, period, ever? That's right. Keith Byars, man. There are only 4 running backs in NFL history to have topped 600 receptions. And of those, only Keith Byars is one of them. Is the guy, Ronnie Harmon, the guy who lost the ball that wound up losing his team the game. And in this case, it was a fumble. His team was the Jets, and the Denver Broncos proceeded to hang 23 points on them in the AFC Championship game. You remember Keith Byars for all of that. But the dude had 600 receptions in his career. Played for the Philadelphia Eagles. Who did he play for in college? Played for Ohio State in college. Fantastic back. Out of all of the guys that I have on my list, my top 5 dual-threat running backs of all time, Keith Byars is the only guy that played fullback. I mean, all these other guys are tailbacks, obviously. Keith Byars played fullback. I think he did play some tight end. I think he played some H-back as well. He might have been like the first H-back that I can remember. But Keith Byars, he comes in at number 4 on my list of top 5 dual-threat running backs of all time. And he could run the football damn tough. Exactly. So he comes in number 4 on my list. Let me read more of your chat here, man. Stay tuned to the show. A little bit later, I will sing something for you. I'm really believing I will sing something for you, so stay tuned for that. From Kim Jane, she says, "Saying, Doug." Man, thank you, Kim Jane. See, it's people like Kim Jane that keeps me motivated, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. People like Kim Jane is the reason why I sing. From Busa, he says, Doug's singing is, he says, Doug's singing is marvelous. If you're new to the show, make sure you stay tuned and be treated to one of Doug's classic selections. Thank you, Busa. From Togo, Uganda, he says, Larry's the benefactor to the Doug Stewart Show. Larry, get Tree a seatbelt so she won't fall out of her chair. I don't know what's wrong with Tree. She almost fell out of her chair a little bit earlier. From Scotty, please, Tree, make sure that you turn Doug's microphone up when he starts to sing. Thank you, Scotty. Wow. Scotty wants to hear me sing, but he wants to hear me sing even louder. Thank you, Scotty. I do it for you, brother. From Fred Mack, Houston, Texas should be on the phone with Ray Rice right now. I'm just saying, yeah, Arian Foster is probably going to be out for a significant amount of time. He's got to have growing surgery, allegedly. We'll see, man. I think he's going to get a job this year, man. Stringer, if Dallas didn't sign Ray Rice, I don't think anyone would. Yeah. Darren McFadden, they also signed a couple other backs. They don't have DeMarco Murray anymore, but they got Darren McFadden. I think he's already injured. He's been injured his entire damn career. Maybe he ends up with the Dallas Cowboys. That sounds like a place where they need running back production on the cheap. So maybe they do give him a call. For Run CNC, Doug needs to get Moby Dick to produce the beats. Tree and Doug singing duet. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. If you're new to the show, a couple of weeks ago I talked to his street name is Moby Dick. And he used to be the main producer for No Limit Records, Beats by the Pound. Now, a lot of the listeners to the Doug Stewart Show didn't really get the gravity of that interview. But trust me, it was great. But he was good. From Stringer, Edgerrin James was the most slept-on dual-threat running back of all times. You're right. And I don't have Edgerrin James on my top 5. I can tell you that right now. I do have him in my honorable mention, though. Edgerrin James was that dude. You're definitely right. I agree with you. From Eugene Jackson, Doug, I only want to hear from the second equipment managers and the center from the New England Patriots in the court of law. Yeah, with this Tom Brady thing, and that's all I said. You know, we don't want to hear anything Tom Brady's got to say. And if you haven't heard, the latest on Tom Brady and Deflategate is Tom Brady denies that he was told if he didn't give up his phone to Commissioner Roger Goodell that he would be punished for it. And what I say to that is that shouldn't matter. The point is the intent. The intent was you were trying to hide evidence. You did not want, the way it comes across to me, you did not want the NFL finding out something dealing with this case with Deflategate. And matter of fact, who cares what Tom Brady has to say at this point or what happened beforehand or not? Anything Tom Brady says to me and trying to defend himself and saying he didn't do this is a lie. Like, why would I believe Tom Brady wouldn't lie about this, especially at this point in this investigation, in this story, in this case. Who cares what Tom Brady has to say? And the bigger thing about this, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, is the NFL knows all the particulars about this case and about this investigation. You think for 1 minute that they wouldn't have decreased his amount of games suspended if they thought that Tom Brady could really win this thing? You know, Tom Brady is the face of the NFL, okay? And they don't want to fight with one of the top players in this game. The NFL doesn't want to do that. But they feel like that they have such a strong case, and the NFL's got big-time lawyers. They got million-dollar lawyers. They feel that they got such a lock-solid case on this dude that they're like, screw you, let's go to court. If you want to take us to court, let's go to court. So that lets me believe, that makes me think and make me believe that the NFL has got this cat dead to rights. I really do believe that. Whatever he says, I don't care. I don't care. He's a liar. He can say anything. He's a liar. Yeah, he can say anything he wants. He says, Casey, why am I laughing about a man shooting another man? I mean, it's real. It's real. That was a real story about my homeboy's old man, Coconut. From Max Jones III. Marvin Gaye's daddy wasn't having it either. Yeah, my old man used to say it all the time. And I told a little story about how I didn't step to my old man. We had a confrontation, and I didn't back up. And my old man just continued to say, I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. I brought you in this world, Dougie, I'll take you out. So maybe it's a country old man daddy thing. I don't know. But he was serious. And now that I look back at it, man, my old man has several weaponry in his room where this whole thing took place at, man. And, yeah, don't do that, man. From P. Cola 3, does Curtis Martin make the list? Stay tuned. Togo, Uganda, Coles. Coconut shot every damn body, including the sheriff, but he didn't shoot the deputy. Now, that's pretty funny right there. From KC, Doug, you lucky the old man from the tavern didn't bust a cap in your ass. That's true. And I promise you, and for new people to the show, when you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, a couple of months back, the Floyd Mayweather-Manny Pacquiao fight, I had a confrontation with an old guy, something real trivial. He was mad because we were playing music at an event that I was hosting, at the fight event. He was mad because he wanted to hear the commercials of the fight or between rounds of the fight, and we were playing music. And he had a problem with that, and he stepped to me, and he was really brash about it. The whole time, we were like, I'd probably say a foot apart from each other, and he was putting his finger in my face and talking trash and everything. The whole time, I was waiting for him to reach. That's no lie. I was waiting for him to reach because, once again, I know that old black men in particular, they will pop a cap in your ass. I know that. Obviously from the stories that I've told today about my homeboy Bubba and his daddy and Coconut. So, yeah, I was waiting for him to reach. Luckily, he didn't. All right, when we get back from the break, man, hour number 2 of the show, man, I might come back singing. I don't know, so you need to stay tuned. I'm going to read more of your chat. Speaking of Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, speaking of Floyd's got his newest opponent, man. He's going to fight next month. I mean, that was quick. His last fight. We'll get more into it when we get back from the break, man. I'll give you number 3 on my top 5 dual-threat running backs of all times. And stay tuned. Huge announcement later on the Doug Stewart Show, man. We are really changing the game. Trust me. You want to stay tuned. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show. In life, things happen, good and bad. And being prepared is always important. If you're like me, a husband, a father, and protector of that family tree, then your family is the most important thing in the world. 95 million U.S. adults don't have protection in place. So, what I've done is put my protection in the hands of the largest and #1 independent financial services company in North America, and that's Primerica. They look out for middle America because they believe that offering the most competitive premiums only benefits the client and have been doing so since 1977. If you're a parent, husband, or wife and want to discuss options with one of Primerica's top reps, then call my guy, Greg Wynn, at 678-439-7172. Again, that's 678-439-7172, and he'll put your family first. And hey, Tell them that Doug Stewart sent you. Yes! This is your boy Doug Stewart, one half of the Two Live Stews. Check out my brand new daily show and podcast that airs live Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Spreaker.com. That's the Doug Stewart Show daily at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Spreaker.com. Or check out the podcast anytime, 24/7. If you're not stewing, what in the world are you doing?
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
Hour number 2, baby, on the Doug Stewart Show. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. And this is a Wild Out Wednesday. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. And, talking about the top 5 dual threat running backs of all times. I got a huge announcement a little bit later, man. We are changing the game on the Doug Stewart Show, so stay tuned for that. We're also going to talk to Greg Smith. His name is the Strength Coach. That's his nickname, the name that he's been called. He's a motivational speaker who has an incredible story. So we're going to talk to him today and, get that entire story. So stay tuned for that as well. And just talking about these stories, I'm reading all of your chat. This is what we do on the Doug Stewart Show. Shouts out to all of the Stewies, everybody in the chat room. Stay tuned. I'm probably going to sing for you later, man. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on in today's show. Yeah, you don't want to miss me singing. And I said it yesterday, I got to really feel a song, or I got to feel the words, the message maybe, and nothing really hit me over the last couple of days. And something hit me yesterday, man. So last night, me and my singing instructor really worked late into the night, into the evening, and trying to perfect how I want to sing this song. So I'm going to sing the song for you a little bit later, so stay tuned to that on the Doug Stewart Show. All right, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. Let me read more of your chat here. Oh, number 3 on my list, the top 5 dual threat running backs of all times, is Thermal Thomas. That's what Chris Berman used to call him, Thermal. You talk about a third down back, and really that's another term they use for these type of backs that I'm talking about. Back in the day, they usually used to just come in on third down. The better ones, they played every down, obviously to the top of the top 5 that I'm talking about right now. But Thurman Thomas, man, with that K-gun offense they used to run in Buffalo, Jim Kelly, I mean, he was in effect like a 4th or 5th wide receiver a lot of times, coming out of the backfield, doing little curl routes in the middle of the field, flare patterns, wheel routes down the sideline. Thurman Thomas had tremendous hands, man, fantastic hands. One of the earlier guys that I thought about in that vein of being, a dual threat running back. One of the first guys that I can remember outside of Marcus Allen that really was more – they were focused. They were a focal point of the passing game as well. And Thurman Thomas was that dude. So Thurman Thomas comes in at number 3 on my list of top 5 dual threat running backs of all times. Let me read more of your chat, man. Thank you for the chat. Tom Brady, Ray Rice, what are your thoughts? I mentioned Floyd Mayweather Jr. Quickly, Floyd Mayweather Jr. has picked his next opponent. And some people say, yeah, he definitely picked him. He's going to face Andre Berto. That's right, September 12th at the MGM Grand. This is Floyd's last fight on his contract with HBO. It was a 6-fight deal, and he will be done. And I said HBO Showtime. He will be done on September 12th. And the big question everybody wants to know is, will he fight one more fight to pass the great Rocky Marciano? Floyd's 48-0 right now. He's clearly going to beat Andre Berto on September 12th to go to 49-0, tying Rocky Marciano. Floyd's saying right now that this is his last fight, that he's done. But you know Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the greatest marketer maybe in the history of boxing. Okay, you know that. He's definitely going to come out and fight one more time. It'll probably be Pacquiao, and he'll probably leave the fight game after that one last fight, one deal for Showtime, with Showtime or HBO, whoever's going to be the highest bidder. He's going to probably leave boxing after that fight with about $300 million. He made like $240 million against Pacquiao the last time. They're going to hype this thing out. He's going to come out of retirement. They're going to show him running up the steps of that famous building in Philadelphia. You know, they're going to show Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is going to correct his mistakes that he made in the last fight against Floyd. And they're going to fight, and they're both going to make $1 gazillion, and Floyd's going to retire 50-0. And he's going to pocket a check for about $300 million. You better believe that. That's how it's going to go down. But Andre Berto, man, has lost 3 of his last 6 fights. People are already saying that Floyd's picking tomato cans again. He's 30-3, 23 KOs, has some power. But once again, he's lost 3 of his last 6 fights against guys you probably never even heard of. So Floyd should easily cruise to a victory in this one. And once again, he'll retire, come back in a year from now, and probably fight Manny Pacquiao and make about $300 million. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. Let me read more of your chat. Thank you for the chat. Fat Boy McCoon. My dad used to be a pimp, and they called him Sugar Bear. My dad's friend's name was Fruit. Now, that's funny. I don't know if that's a true story or not, sir. JB Jennings, them good old country boys shoot first and ask questions later. Yes, sir. Ms. Mocha Bella, there are people named Peanut, just like Clowny Dad Coconut. Yeah, people named Peanut. From Scotty, in the country, the hardest dudes are named after foods. Yeah, the hardest dudes in the country are named after foods. Coconut, Peanut, as somebody said. Trying to think of a couple other names. You're right. Boosa. I bet they didn't talk about his head. Get that ass shot. Laugh out loud. Yes, sir. Nobody talked about his head. It was kind of like an inside joke type thing. He just accepted the name after many, many years, I guess. From Scotty, Rice has suffered enough. If Tebow can get a spot on a team and he sucks, so can Rice, who can produce in spurts. Max Jones III, true that, Scotty. Would you feel the same way if it's your daughter, female friend, family member, etc.? Yeah, and I have daughters. For people that don't know, I got 3 daughters. And it'd be hard for me to forgive a guy like that, especially if it was a personal situation with one of my daughters. And I hate to even talk out loud like that. My oldest daughter's finishing college this year, hopefully. My middle daughter's about to go in 2 weeks to college. She's going off on her own, man, and I hate to even think about them in a situation like that would happen with Ray Rice and his fiance and his wife now. But, once again, I'm looking at the person. I'm looking at his mannerisms and how he says things and how it comes across. I feel like that the guy is remorseful. Once again, coming from him and coming from his wife, we would have heard from somebody. Somebody would have called TMZ and talked about how Ray Rice used to beat women back in the day. I haven't heard any of that. So there's no real history of him in domestic violence that we can point to. I have come to believe that he actually just wigged out that night. And when it first happened, I didn't. Because once again, I always feel like you do something like that in the way that he did it, in the callous manner that he did it, you've done it before. But once again, I do believe now that this is probably the one time or the first time incident like this for Ray Rice. I'm starting to believe that now. From Busa, Ray Rice should have at least picked his wife up after he knocked her ass out. He continued to say that in the interview. He said it almost. Go ahead, Tree.
Sorry, Busa. We're on team, same thinking, but why would you expect him to have done that. This ninja was not in his right mind.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That was the least of his thinking. And I'm not, I ain't doing all that. I'm going to just say what I got to say. That was not on his mind, and I don't support what he did, but what did she do? What happened to bring it all to that?
Mm-hmm.
That's the real conversation.
Yeah, they're not going to talk
They're
about
never going to talk about that, but he definitely should have not continued to say repeatedly, I looked at that and I should have picked her up. You would not have picked her up. You just shouldn't have. You should have walked off when she was doing whatever she was doing in the elevator.
He went over and above with that statement about he should have picked her up.
No.
I think he probably should have just stuck to the narrative if he was wrong and he apologized.
Exactly. Just keep saying that. And I would have also liked to have seen her in that interview with him, because it felt like he a little bit was making himself victimized by the response that's been, especially the fact that he can't seemingly secure employment.
Right.
Maybe if she was right there with him, the focus would have been on her as the victim more, and he could have been, that could have rendered some tears. I would have made her sit in that interview.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they didn't do an interview with both of them together. ESPN, that you only saw, 5 or 6 minutes of it at the max. I think Jamil said that she talked to them for like 5 hours. So chances are they probably did do a segment with both of them together. We just haven't seen that yet. And they released.
And if it's coming from ESPN, know.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
So from Vince Wright, he says, I hear you. I got to go back to church too. From Togo, Uganda, praise dances can scare you away from church, Doug. Yeah, the praise dances didn't scare me away. I talked about it a couple months ago, man, at the church that I attend, Impact Church here in Atlanta, Georgia. They had some praise dances that scared the hell out of me a couple of months ago.
You sure haven't been back since the mimes.
Yeah, these mimes. And one of the mimes actually talked. Who does that? Clearly you are breaking the rules of being a mime. And so I haven't, strangely enough, I haven't been back. I've been just very busy. I've traveled 3 weekends in a row. This weekend will make the third weekend in a row, man. So just been very busy, man. And so when I do get a Sunday off, man, it's real tough for me to get out of my bed. From Harvey Scott, Stu, I believe Ray Rice got his point across and was apologetic. I disagree with you about him crying. Damn the people that wanted Ninja to cry for them to be redeemed. Tried of these fools crying. No, but it's not just ninjas. I'm saying usually I can see like a PR firm saying, man, listen, you need to be as dramatic and as sincere as possible. I'm not going to tell you to cry, but if you can cry, go ahead and let it flow. Seems like America is more understanding of cats that show that type and that level of remorse. From Chico the Alpha Tree, Doug better not be trying to sneak Moby Dick into acting like he was a producer, strength trainer, laugh out loud. No, he's not. From Fred, from Pico 3, Fred, I give her a 7.8 because she's got a nice frame and a little hood, so I think she would be a good friend to play with. Who are they talking about, Tree? You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I'm not sure. Fred Mack, Ray Rice needed a 60-minute interview primetime. Grego, give a Ray Rice a shot. Jacksonville can use him. The wife forgave him, so I think people need to move on. I agree to a point. I definitely agree. All right, when we get back from the break, man, we're going to talk to the strength coach. His name is Greg Smith. Incredible story, man. Incredible story. Motivational speaker. And you don't want to miss this, man, all right? Doug Stewart interviews coming up next. Don't go away. And I'm singing later, too. And we got a big announcement. A lot of stuff still to do today on the show. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play. So, you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU.
The Doug Stewart Show.
The place where the real players play.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service.
The Doug Stewart Show.
That's a brand name. Like Pepsi, that's a brand name. I stand behind it. I guarantee it.
The Doug Stewart Show.
If you ain't stewing, what the hell are you doing? Yeah! What is 911 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They'll help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers and compromise or penalty abatements. 911 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years' experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you, so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on their link on my website and let 911 Tax Relief help you in your situation with Uncle Sam. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Wild Out Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining you, boy. I really do appreciate it. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Thank you for joining your boy. We'll get into more of your chat here in a second. Remember, I got a huge announcement a little bit later on today's show, so you don't want to miss that. But as I mentioned earlier, the 65-pound giant, that's right, you heard me, 65 pounds, the wheelchair dude with a winning attitude. He is skin and bones physically, weighing 65 pounds, soaking wet. He was born with muscular dystrophy, uses a power wheelchair, and his torso is supported by 3 surgically implanted metal rods attached to his spine. In 2005, he was diagnosed with a congestive heart failure and told to plan for just 5 more years, but he's still with us today. And joining me right now on the Doug Stewart Show on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network is Greg Smith. Greg, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great, Doug. Thanks for having me on, man.
Man, thank you for coming on, man. And you're in, where are you in, Mississippi?
Right now, I'm in Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
Man, talk about your story, and I know your story, and I've known you for a couple of years now. You're actually a motivational speaker in a wheelchair, and your website is The Strength Coach. And obviously, from what I just described and the issues that you've had health-wise throughout your life, we're not talking about outer strength. We're talking about inner strength. Talk about you, your background, and what you do when you speak to people in this country.
I would love to do that. Basically, having been born with muscular dystrophy, every single thing I've had to do in my life has been difficult, every physical movement. So you tend to relish on using the competitive spirit to accomplish things. And after doing that my whole life, I kind of realized that I've developed some strength, and I can teach other people how to impact theirs. So when I hit the stage, I talk about building inner strength. The key to it for me has been the competitive spirit, sports, and really the desire to win. So I have little competitions every day with the physical world, and I usually overcome them.
You actually, in talking about the whole sports narrative, you actually have a bachelor's degree in broadcasting from one of the most prestigious journalism schools in America, the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism from Arizona State. And you actually host your own podcast, and obviously you are a motivational speaker. Talk about your love with sports and how it kind of relates to what you do on the motivational speaking tour.
Well, sports is my life. I was born into it. My dad was the quarterback at Alcorn State Back then it was called Alcorn A&M back in the 60s. He went on to become a high school football coach and a Hall of Fame high school football coach in Biloxi. And obviously when we found out that I wasn't able to play sports, I had to find another way to be involved. Went to a high school that had a radio station, and the rest is history. I started doing play-by-play and talk show hosting on that station. Went to Arizona State, founded the sports department at the campus radio station, and I went on to work at KTAR Radio in Phoenix, doing things such as Cardinal Talk after all the NFL games. But it continues on to my personal life, being a father. I'm a father of 3 kids who are now all grown, all 3 of them athletes. So, the sports mentality, the competitive spirit, getting the job done, all the cliches have been ingrained in me since day one, Doug.
Yeah, we're talking to Greg Smith right now, the strength coach, incredible story, motivational speaker. And I guess that's part of what you talk about and what people can relate to, and they can see if they're healthy and, in relative terms, if they're healthy and they look at you and you talk so positive and you talk about doing things in inner strength, that probably goes a long way to making your point when you talk to people, right?
Absolutely. And I think it all comes down to the fact that, yes, I have physical challenges, but we all have physical challenges, and we all have mental challenges and situational challenges. So the way to overcome them, in my view, is to fall in love with the feeling that you get after you accomplish something great, after you accomplish something difficult. And that is the mantra of my presentation. I talk about some of the things that I've had to overcome that most people would find simple, but I've had struggles in doing things such as, opening a soda bottle. I remember one time right after I was out of college, I had a tough time opening a soda bottle. And I spent about 4 hours, Doug, trying to figure out a way to get this darn thing open. And I finally figured it out. And when I did, that feeling that I got from opening that bottle was the greatest feeling I've ever had in my life, Doug.
Wow.
And from that moment, I've been seeking that feeling again. So I'm continually looking for challenging things to step into and do. So I'm addicted to the feeling I get from getting stuff done.
Talking to Greg Smith right now, the strength coach on the Doug Stewart Show. Man, talk about some of your speaking engagements and some of the bigger crowds that you spoke in front of and their reaction to you and your message.
Wow, I've spoken at so many, it's hard for me to narrow it down, but I've spoken to government agencies, I've spoken to corporations, I've spoken at conferences and events. The biggest audience I've ever spoken to was about 1,500 people at a trade show. Actually, it was a association convention. But usually people are mesmerized by me. I roll out onto the stage. I command their attention. I tell my stories, and it's just a matter of being honest with myself. And that translates to the audience. And once I start telling my stories and then correlating it to the challenges that you face or that you need to overcome, I think, well, if I can do that, I'm doing my job. So I'm available. I love speaking. There's nothing, maybe going to a ball game. I prefer doing that more. But other than that, speaking is my playing field.
Wow. Talking to Greg Smith right now on the Doug Stewart Show on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. You just mentioned you love going to ball games. You're a huge sports fan. I just talked about how you were a sports journalism major in college. You mentioned to me, I'd spoken to you a while back, and you said that you're a huge Chicago Bears fan. What do you think about them Bears this year and your boy Jay Cutler?
Man, do we have to go there? I'm thick and thin Chicago Bears fan. I was there in '85. I was in the locker room for the NFC Championship game and the divisional playoff game that Sean Lindetta missed the punt. You remember that? But, the Bears, I was going to say are who we thought they were, but
right.
I couldn't resist the temptation. They have the potential to be a little bit better, so they could be a dark horse. Jay Cutler has never had the same offensive coordinator for more than a year in his career in Chicago. And so that, chaos has led to a lot of the problems. But I think he's got the skills to get it done. He has the tools to get it done. Yeah, they lost Brandon Marshall, but they got a couple other receivers. One in the draft they got from West Virginia.
Right.
And they got Eddie Royal, to go along with Alshon Jeffrey, who is ready to step up and be an all-pro now. He is an all-pro. He's an all-star game last year, or the Pro Bowl last year. So, they've got that side of it down. The defense is what really needs to be worked on. And so hopefully, I'm not saying they'll make the playoffs this year, but I expect them to go 500 at least and give us something to be optimistic about.
Yeah, you're talking about Kevin White, the receiver from
Kevin White,
West Virginia. Yeah, so they got two big receivers out there, Kevin White and Alshon Jeffries. We're finishing up right now with Greg Smith, the strength coach on the Doug Stewart Show, Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. You're a football
Let me talk about my boy.
Go talk about who?
My boy, my son.
Oh, go ahead. Definitely. I was about to talk about that. I was about to bring that up, that you're actually a football dad and your son is a wide receiver who's aspiring to go into the NFL.
Yeah, he's got the talent and the attitude. What happened with him, he went to a junior college. And, coaches will tell you anything. That's a warning to any football dad out there listening. But Donovan Smith is his name, and he lined up across the field from Nikhil Williams, who will be known when it's all said and done as one of the greatest receivers ever to walk the field, if you ask this guy. But they threw the ball to Nikhil all the time, and Donovan didn't get very many tosses, ended up not getting recruited by D1 schools. Went and walked on at Southern Miss, made it, but then, if you walk on, you're the low man on the totem pole. He didn't like that, so he quit. And he called me one day and said, Dad, I quit. I was at the airport. I couldn't really talk to him. And when I found out what had happened, it was too late. So he had decided to give up football, went to Arizona, learned about a new NAIA program called Arizona Christian University. And so he's going to be a starting wide receiver at ACU, NAIA school. Again, D1 talent. So in a market the size of Phoenix, if I have anything to say about it, he's going to be known about.
Got you. Finishing up with Greg Smith right now on the Doug Stewart Show. One other thing I want to mention with you before we let you go. You're an ADA Fan Cam founder. You got disability, a disability message aired on baseball games for the 25th anniversary of ADA last Sunday, as a matter of fact. Talk about that experience, man.
I've been watching baseball my whole life, and I've never seen one shot of a fan with a disability that you can discern in the stands. Never. Out of 50 years of watching baseball.
Right.
So I decided to do something about it for the ADA anniversary, and I contacted some colleagues and eventually contacted Major League Baseball. They endorsed the idea, sent it out to all the teams, and we only had about maybe 5 or 6 teams participate, but that equated to over 2 million viewers.
Wow.
Who, for the first time, really ever saw fans with disabilities at the ball game. I was one of them. My son Donovan was one of them at Chase Field in Arizona. We were the guests of the Diamondbacks. But the ESPN broadcast did that, and it was huge. So I'm going to continue this work and just kind of put fans with disabilities on the radar. We need to be on the radar in order to have any hope of creating a pop culture for people with disabilities. And that's what I'm all about there.
Finishing up with Greg Smith right now, the strength coach. We got a minute left, man. What would you say, or what's like the lasting thing that you leave with audiences that you talk to? Give that to the listeners of the Doug Stewart Show and on Stewart Media and Entertainment.
I would say that we all have challenges. I've said it before. Don't feel sorry for me. My challenges are maybe less than yours. There are some people walking around that are a lot less happy than I am. So first of all, don't look at disability as a negative condition. Look at it as a beautiful part of the natural diversity that's human life. And then get yourself together in terms of stepping into challenges. Don't put it off. Running from it will not save you. See it through. You got to step up to the challenges, and then you will become addicted to that great feeling that you get when you have achieved a difficult task. So check out my website. Go to thestrengthcoach.com. And you need to have me come speak to your group.
There it is. The Greg Smith joined me on the Doug Stewart Show. Greg Smith, the strength coach, thestrengthcoach.com. Greg, thank you so much for your time, brother.
All right, dog team.
There he is, Greg Smith right there. And you heard that last comment. He's also a member of the illustrious Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. There he is. Great story. And when we get back from the break, man, we'll get back into the sports. We'll talk about the Chicago Bears. I mentioned them a little bit with Greg just now. And we'll talk about the Oklahoma Sooners. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there. All right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes!
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
If you're not stewing, what the hell are you doing? This is the Doug Stewart Show. Big announcement coming up in about 15 minutes. Stay tuned for that. Thank you for joining your boy. I really do appreciate it, man. Shouts out to the strength coach, man. Crazy, incredible story. And I know if you go to his website and you see him, you'll understand the magnitude of what that man does. I mean, once again, hired to go all over the country and talk about the inner strength that you have. And I mentioned this yesterday. It's funny, I mentioned this yesterday talking about my daughter, how she complains about going and running. And I tell them all the time, you're so blessed, you have no clue. Okay? And you look at this guy and you see his story and you hear his story and you complain? I mean, come on, man. Get real. You complain. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's talk a little bit of Oklahoma football as well as Chicago Bears, our preseason team reports, college and pro. Man, not a normal Bob Stoops type year in the Big 12 for Oklahoma last year. In effect, they struggle, man. They actually go last year, they go 8-5, not an Oklahoma-type season once again. Oklahoma has pretty much dominated the Big 12 ever since Bob Stoops has been there. This year, they are preseason ranked third in the conference behind, obviously, TCU is ranked number 1 and Baylor is number 2. And I don't know if this is going to go away anytime soon where Oklahoma is going to be back at the top of that conference. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show because TCU and Baylor, who we'll obviously talk about down the road this year, have got it going on. And it seems like that, they've caught their stride and they are here to stay. And I always talk about some of the worst teams in college football, and Baylor used to be in that conversation. It used to be Baylor and Vanderbilt and Duke. Nah, Baylor got it going on right now. So right now in the preseason rankings for the Big 12, they've got Oklahoma being the third-ranked team. So we'll see what happens with that. Once again, Bob Stoops is not used to that. This team has dominated since Bob Stoops has been the head coach there. Some of the bigger names you talk about Oklahoma football is obviously Samaje Perine, the running back, who is another one of those big, strong, physical backs. He's a guy that's going to go high in the draft, had a couple of 300-plus yard games last year. I'm sure you remember that. Once again, a solid big back, kind of like the guy I mentioned a couple of days earlier, Jalen Hurd from Tennessee. Not quite as big, but strong, physical, and can really carry the football. So he's going to be dependent on greatly this year for Oklahoma football to get back to the top. A couple of questions for Oklahoma football this year. Number one, can the Sooners survive their brutal 3-game stretch to end the regular season? The Sooners end the season with a trip to Baylor, a home game against TCU, and then they've got that Bedlam game in Stillwater against Oklahoma State. Last year, Oklahoma really struggled at the end of the season. They went 2-3 in their last final games, losing to Oklahoma State, to Baylor as well, and then they lost in the bowl game against Clemson. So really, they're going to have to get a good start because they really are going to have a tough schedule in the last part of the year. So there goes a little conversation about the Oklahoma Sooners. We had Greg on the phone, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. We talked a little bit about Chicago. He's a Chicago Bear fan, growing up as a Bear fan back in the day, was around during the 85 run where the Bears were just dominant. This ain't your daddy's, or this ain't your Bears team. The Bears have struggled over the last couple of years, and the main reason is because of Jay Cutler. We all know that. Very unstable at the quarterback position, but they paid the guy a ton of money. He ain't going nowhere soon. They did draft Kevin White, the wide receiver from West Virginia, as me and Greg talked about in the call. So you're going to have an incredible core of wide receivers to throw to if you're Jay Cutler. You have no excuse. You have no excuse in talking about the weapons that you have, which was an issue a couple of years ago. You don't even have that excuse anymore if you're the quarterback of the Chicago Bears. So you have Alshon Jeffries, and now you have this kid White. Should be easy targets to get the ball to down the field if you're Jay Cutler for the Chicago Bears. Here's the thing about it. Can the Bears have any stability? Can they have any stability at all from the quarterback position? That's the whole key. And really, you can talk about that for any team in the NFL. It all starts and ends with the quarterback. That's where it starts and ends, the quarterback. And if Jay Cutler can't get his head screwed on right, man, it's going to be another long, long year for the Chicago Bears. All right, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. I think the Bears are going to be one of those third-tier teams. If you break the league up into 3 teams, what is it, 32 teams, 12, like 11 teams per third. So the Bears probably going to be like 22, 23rd ranked team this year. They are one of the lower-tier teams in football this coming year, and I don't think it's going to get that much better before it gets worse. Matt Forte, the running back, obviously coming back. He's getting a little long in the tooth right now as well. You can't really depend on him as much as you did in previous years. So I think the Bears are going to struggle this year. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com and reading all of your chat, taking your phone calls if we got any. Stay tuned. I promise you I'm going to sing today. If you've been waiting for me to sing, man, and you haven't heard me belt out any of my melodic tunes, just stay tuned. Just stay tuned. And I've also, and Tree's shaking a damn head. Why are you shaking your head? Why are you shaking your head? Why are you putting your hand over your face like that, Tree?
We have other things that are more that need to be covered and talked about.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Back up. There's nothing more important or nothing greater to be covered than me singing for the listeners, for the Stewies, Tree. So I highly resemble that remark.
I'm not gonna do it.
Okay? So
you highly resemble that remark.
You heard what I said. I highly resemble that remark.
You resent the remark. You don't resemble the remark.
Tree.
What?
It's comedy, Tree.
You're not funny.
You think? Oh, wait a minute. Wait, you don't know when I'm being facetious.
Where you going?
And as far as
going? Get back in your chair.
As far as I believe, you're the first nominee of this week's Ball Penis Award.
No,
yes,
Sierra,
you are.
my homegirl Sierra, with her excellent parenting skills, is.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sierra's nominated, and Russell Wilson's nominated. If you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, we do this thing weekly called the Boyle Penis Award. It's a long story. In its origin, it's a long
story.
Yeah, literally and figuratively. But it in effect goes to the Buster of the Week, the GOAT of the Week. And Tree has been nominated. Tree, let me write her name down. Tiara. She spells it kind of funny. E-I-F-O-R-D, period. Tree, you have been nominated. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to put a star by your name. Tree has been nominated for this week's Boyle Penis Award.
Get that star. I need you to remember that I am a star.
You can't go.
Please, can you do? This is why we don't have time for singing.
Whoa. You can't go back. Let me just say this. Can you calm down for a second? Don't go back and trample over my little jokes. If you don't get the joke, if you don't get me being funny, then just lay back for a minute and just think about it, and then you'll figure it out later.
Yes, sir. Yes,
now,
sir.
What were you going to say?
Mocha is demanding that you tell us about the possum tree place where you were.
It's Possum Trap, Tree. The Possum Trap. And don't disrespect that establishment like that. All right, the Possum Trap. I performed at the Possum Trap this past Sunday in Bug Tussle, Tennessee, and I every time I try to get to the story, man, I just get caught up in something else. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. All right? So, I tell you what, Mocha. I tell you what, though. You're a fan of great singing. Stay tuned. When we get back, I'm going to sing, damn it. How about that? This has been on my heart. The message really wasn't on my heart of this song, but this tune was just in my heart. Stay tuned. When we get back, I'm going to sing for you. And I got a huge announcement. A huge announcement for the listeners, for the Stewies. All right, don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show. First of all, thank you for listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that we've grown exponentially over the first couple of months. Whether that's listens, whether that's followers, we're blowing up, and you can be a part of it. If you have a company out there and you like to promote on the Doug Stewart Show, we'd love to partner with you. Here's what you do. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Once again, that's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Whether that's locally, regionally, or nationally, we can get the word out. What you're talking about is middle-aged dudes that love sports and love exciting sports talk. Once again, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com, and we will put you out there, all right? That's doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business. Yes!
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
All right, we're back. Oh, I see. Oh, I see now, Tree. I see now. I see now what happened. You cut my mic. Oh, you cut my mic. Wait, I apologize for this, Stewies. Wait a minute. Didn't they not hear none of that? Did they not hear none of that earlier? We came back from the break. They didn't hear none of that? They didn't hear any of that?
Yeah.
Oh, Tree! You cut my mic! And you plugged in another song. Why couldn't I hear that? Oh, Missy. Oh, Missy. Oh. Okay. Yeah, you want to play? Huh? You want to play, huh? Huh? You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Ooh, I'm so mad right now. I'm so mad. And you slipped in a song. So wait a minute. For the past 5 minutes, y'all didn't hear me? Oh, my gosh. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Oh, my gosh. Ooh. Ooh, okay. All right. So I'm just, wait a minute. Let me look at, hey. Oh, yeah. Somebody going to win their first BPA this weekend. Somebody going to win their first Ball Penis Award. Ooh. We got all these people in the chat room mad because they didn't hear my melodic singing. It is all because you turned my mic. Oh, I see. I see now. Yeah. I might as well go ahead and get the Ball Penis music right now. Let me get the Ball Penis music right now.
No. Stay on task. It's about to be time to go. Stop this.
And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Oh, my gosh.
There is an uproar. It's an uprising in the chat right now.
You see how pissed off the fans are that they didn't hear me singing? And I was singing. I sung my ass off. I just sung my ass off in here. If I must say so myself. And they didn't hear it? Wait a minute. Let me make sure you're not playing with me. No, they didn't hear it. They didn't hear it. They didn't hear it. All right. Me and you, Tree, after the show, we got to have a talk. Okay? We got to have a long talk. All right? And in all seriousness. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. We got to have a long talk. Okay. I cannot believe that you cut my microphone. Wow.
I'm not getting in the elevator with you.
Wow. Okay.
That's number one. Okay. Number two, the announcement, please.
I'm not getting in the elevator with you. All right, quickly, let me finish this up. And I apologize once again, Stewies. I apologize once again. We got a bunch of frowny emojis, and avatars. Mad that they didn't hear me. Tree will win this week's Ball Penis Award as it stands right now. I don't see any way she doesn't. I don't. My Lord. And I'm actually tired because I actually put my heart and soul into that song. I'm sweating in here. Should have had Periscope up. Oh, my gosh. I apologize. I'm sorry. I am terribly sorry for Tree trying to be funny. I am terribly sorry, Stewies. We got some business to tend to, though, so I'm going to have to move on, but we will revisit this. We will revisit this.
We got people coming on the chat that I've never seen before. Curtis Allen.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
We're going to read the chat together, line by line. I'm not afraid of you, Doug Stewart.
How about this? How about cut your mic? How about I have the opportunity, the ability to cut your mic, right? You know that, right, Tree? Thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you. Stand down. Because I have the ability in here to cut your mic as well. How about we cut your mic? Okay, here we go. Let me quickly talk about some of the business that we had throughout the show. Let me finish that, and then I'll talk about the one last thing that I mentioned earlier I wanted to announce today on the show. Huge announcement on the Doug Stewart Show. Your top 5 dual threat running backs: number 5, Marcus Allen; number 4, Keith Byars; number 3, Thurman Thomas; number 2, LaDainian Tomlinson; and number 1, Marshall Faulk. You knew who that was. So I don't need to go into detail. You know those guys were dual threat running backs. Those guys were dual threat running backs. All right, so the big announcement, man, and next month, September 22nd, will be the 1-year anniversary of the Doug Stewart Show and Stewart Media and Entertainment. All right, and so the entire plan for the network, and we called it a network on purpose from the very beginning, the long-term vision of the network was to air other shows. Not just the Doug Stewart Show, but other shows. We are proud to announce to you that starting today, as of today, in collaboration with Fiverr, you now have the ability, and maybe it's you, maybe it's a friend of yours, maybe it's somebody that you know that has a podcast, you now have the availability and the ability to air your podcast, your live online radio show on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Yes, Lord. We thriving around here, shawty. So what does that mean? What that means is, because we're doing this in conjunction with Fiverr, you may have a 5-minute show that you can air on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network for $5. Seriously. 5-minute show, 30-minute show, 1-hour show, 2-hour show, 3-hour show. We do refuse or have the right of refusal, which means that we aren't going to air something that we don't think is radio podcast ready. It has to be a good product. It has to be entertaining. It has to be a good, reflection of the network and what we do, the quality work we do here on the Doug Stewart Show and on the network, the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. That's right. So if you have a podcast, or if you know somebody that has a great podcast, have them get in contact with us through Fiverr.com and take advantage. Here's the big thing. I should have actually mentioned this from the very beginning. The big thing and the huge thing about this is if you air your show on our network, you have access to over 8,000 followers. So you're not doing a radio show and nobody's listening but your cousin down the street that you told about it. You have 8,000 followers to this network and to the Doug Stewart Show. All right? Whereas when your show goes live, they're going to get an alert to listen. So you're going to have built-in listeners from day one. Built-in listeners from day one. Over 200,000 plus listens to the network. Once again, over 8,000 followers to the show. All right? So, yeah, you have an opportunity to hit the ground running. Not you airing your show, doing your show, and, 2 people listening. No, you're going to have the availability of 8,000 followers to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Yes, Tree.
Okay, yeah, so real talk. Just wanted to definitely, you said it, like I was trying to get your attention to make sure they understand the value that they're getting is right. That you've established this space here right. On Spreaker.
Right.
And even beyond that, we're not going to promote your show on our Facebook page or anything like that, but the built-in capabilities of what you've already built here. So that's why it's important that presenters of Stewart Media and Entertainment, they don't have to, it just has to be quality. We're not just trying to fill space.
Right.
We're not pressed like that.
Right. We're not going to just.
It has to be quality, and you can make it you can get as many bells and whistles on it as you want. If you go to the Fiverr link, which I'll put in the chat, and I'll post it on the Facebook group, you can decide what you want to do, how long. If you want to do it one time and you're like, oh, no, this is hard or this ain't for me.
Right.
We're not pressed.
Right.
But you can't just come up in here raggedy and bootleg.
Right, exactly. Well, once again, we have the right of refusal. And the big thing is you're getting built-in listeners. You're getting built-in followers, all right, which we've established here over the past 11 months. That's the huge thing. Now, another part of this, another aspect to this is, and Tree mentioned we won't promote you on Facebook. Actually, that's not true. We have several Fiverrs set up, and they call them gigs. We have several gigs set up on the network. You can actually do a $5 with the Doug Stewart Show where we do ads for you on the show. We can also do a $5 for you where we do voiceovers on the show. We can also do an ad for you on social media where we promote your brand, the product, or something to that degree. So you can actually get promotion as well to promote your show on our network. All right? You have that availability. You can just do it in a format where it's already done and published. It needs to be recent. It can't be dated material. So, in effect, you probably need to, if you want to just do it where you do an MP3 and we replay it live on the network, you can do that. Where it's already done, it's already edited, you can do that as well. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Or we can go full-out production and do it remotely, or we'll give you more details about that, where you basically come on and talk, and we'll engineer from the background. We have that capability as well. So there's a lot of options, man. Big, big stuff for us. Once again, this was the goal. This was the vision just about a year ago, and it's coming to fruition now, man. We are adding more shows and giving you the ability to air your show live on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. That's right. That's right. The Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Oh, praise God. Praise God. It's going fantastic. Speaking of which, praising God, one message I forgot to talk about a little bit earlier today, and it's something that I've been talking about the last couple of days. Here's today's money solution for everyone. Need more money? Well, I've got your answer. You get money for whatever you need, bills, business, charity, education, or any personal need. This is not a loan. I repeat, this is not a loan. You do not incur any debt, and there's no repayment necessary. For more details / information, visit 5565123.com. Once again, 5565123.com, and make sure and tell them that the Doug Stewart Show sent you. All right? So huge news for us, man. Huge news for us. Do you know somebody that has a good podcast, but they don't have an audience? You know, I'm blessed to have this huge audience and this huge follower ship, I guess you would say, to Stewart Media and Entertainment, man, because of the brand of the Two Live Stews, I guess you could say, as well. So we spread love. And I'd like for it to work out where at some point we get enough shows to do, to actually do the network 24 hours a day. I'd love that. I love the to have that ability, you know. So if you got a podcast, if you do a podcast, even if you don't, if you think that you can do one, we can talk about it and doing it in different and several types of ways. Man, this has been a great show, man. I mean, praise God. Tree, outside of you turning off my mic, and you going to pay hell for that. You're going to pay hell for that, baby. Yes, sir. Woo-hoo-hoo. It was a great show. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Doug Stewart Show. Once again, man. Wow. We're finally here, baby. Shouts out to Pink Gator.
9 a.m. tomorrow.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're going to go live tomorrow at 9 a.m. and Friday morning, 9 a.m. I am taping, me and the great Rashawn Ali are taping this season of HBCU Playback on the Aspire Network. So I'm doing some TV. So tomorrow morning, you see me shave off all this hair on my face. Bunky face once again, trees clapping. When I do a Periscope tomorrow morning, your boy will be clean, trust me. Because as soon as the show is over tomorrow, I got to fly down to the studios here in Atlanta and film this TV show. So tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., thank you, Tree, for all that you did, even though you cut my mic. Unheard of. Unbelievable. Wow. Ooh-wee, I'm going to get you for that. Shouts out to Waterhead Walter. Thank you, Walter. I really do appreciate it. All your hard work. Dwayne Vasson, Gerald Oliveri, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. And a big thank you. And thank you for being patient. Stewies, I know you wanted to hear me sing today and you weren't able to hear it because of some tomfoolery up in here. But tomorrow, I promise you I'll sing. Early in the morning, I'm going to sing for you. Yes, sir. All right, tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., The Doug Stewart Show. Peace.